Hey, hello there. So in this video we are going to get started with the technical discussion on the pointers. So in this video we are going to see what is a pointer, why we need pointers, and why C++ actually has pointers at first place, right? So let's quickly get started. Let's first discuss about what is a pointer. Okay, so let me tell you a quick definition of the pointers. Pointer is nothing but a variable which stores address of another variable or a function. Let me quickly repeat. See, pointer is a variable which stores address of another variable or a function. Now, let me tell you why we need to store address of another variable or a function. Before telling you that, let's quickly jump on to our example that we discussed in previous video, and let me tell you how these mobile numbers that we took from the business owner, or that Adam took from this business owner, how they are similar to the pointers. And there's one slight change. We are going to discuss about that. See, var1 is boss1, var2 is boss2, and var3 is boss3, right? var1, var2, var3 have their mobile numbers. Now, the mobile number is nothing but their address, right? See, var1 is going to have his mobile number, so we can call that mobile number as his address. See, usually we have our postal addresses, we have our email ID. So all these things actually represent our address, right? So with the help of your email address, I can reach to you. With the help of your phone number, I can reach to you. So whatever which is helping me to reach to you is actually your address, right? So we can call mobile number as their address. So 777 something something, that is address of var1. 8206 something something, that is address of var2. Similarly, 9367 something something, that is address of manager of var3, right? So basically these mobile numbers which we actually were calling as pointers, they are not actually pointers, they are the addresses of the variables. Now what is the pointers then in this example? The pointer is a variable, as this definition says, pointer is a variable which stores address, right? So 777 is not a pointer, it's an address. And let's say Adam is writing this mobile number on a card. Let's say he has one small card, and on that card he is writing this mobile number. So that card is a pointer. So what is a pointer? Pointer is a variable which is storing address of another variable. In this case, 777 something something, it is address of var1, right? And let's say he has a card, and on that card he is writing 777 something something. So that card is a pointer. Okay. So I hope now you will keep this definition in your mind. What is the pointer? Pointer is a variable which stores address of another variable or a function. Right now don't worry about the function. As and when we will go ahead in this module, we will discuss how even functions have the addresses. Right? It's crazy, right? Along with the variable, even functions have the addresses. So we are going to discuss that stuff in this model. Don't worry about that. Now let me tell you why we need pointers. Why there is need of pointers. See, we have var1. So in programming, if you think from the programming perspective, if we have var1, we can directly access var1 with its name, right? We can directly write, let's say you want to print value of var1, you can directly write cout var1. If you want to add something in var1, you can directly write var1 is equal to 5, or var1 is equal to var1 plus 10. You can directly do so. Then why we need their addresses? See, in our real life example, it makes sense because those business owners are actually in a foreign country, let's say, and that's why we need their number. We can't directly call them and then they will come to us. It's not going to work like that. Okay. But let's say if these business owners are just staying around you, then in that case maybe you won't need their mobile number, because in that case you can directly call them. Same thing is applicable to the programming. See, you can use variable with their name only if they are very close to you. They are near to you. You can directly call them. You can directly use them with their name. But what if these variables are far from you, far away from you, like the business owners in the next country or in the next state, or even in the next district, or even in the next village? In that case as well, you cannot directly call them and they'll listen to you and they'll just come to you. Okay, in that case as well, you will need their mobile number, you will need their address. Now in terms of programming, when we say that a variable is far, so in terms of programming, when a variable is a local variable, we can say it's near to you. I mean, it's a local variable, you can directly access it. But if, let's say, let's go to the Visual Studio Code and let me explain you this thing with the help of VS Code. Okay, so it will be easy to you to understand. So you can see on my screen there is a simple code snippet. We have two functions, one is main and one is foo. Now this foo function is trying to access two variables. One is gvar1 and another one is var1. Gvar1 is a global variable which is declared over here, so it can obviously access this variable and there is no problem. Var1 on the other hand is a local variable of a main function. Okay, and let's say we are calling this foo from here. See, var1 is not a global variable, it's not a local variable of foo function, it's a local variable of main function, and foo is trying to access that. Obviously foo won't be able to access it because we all know that there is a scoping involved with variable, right? And var1 is having local scope and its scope is limited to main function, so var1 won't be accessible inside foo. And whenever foo is trying to access var1, the compiler will obviously give him an error. So right now you can see even the editor is giving me an error that identifier var1 is undefined. Okay. Now as this var1 is undefined, but let's say we actually want to access var1. We actually want to modify value of var1 over here, then how we can achieve it? We don't want to move this var1 to global space. We want to keep it as a local variable of main, but we want this foo function to be able to access var1, which is a local variable of main function. That is not feasible with this names, with this variable names. That is not feasible, and that's the reason we need this concept called as pointers. Okay, now how we can do this with pointers? See, pointer, with the help of pointer, we can actually get address of var1, we can store it in some variable, we can actually have this variable inside this foo function, and with the help of that variable, which is a pointer, we can access var1. In the next video, I'm going to tell you how we can do that. Right now, just don't worry about it. Right now, just think in an example point of view. We have a variable, we can take its address, we can give it this address to foo, and we can tell foo that with this address, you can access var1. See, addresses are very powerful. If you give address to a function, or if you give your address to anyone, he can access you. Like a phone number. If we get phone number of any person, we can call him. Anyone can call him. Let's say tomorrow you get mobile number of, let's say, Vin Diesel. Obviously you can call him. Anyone can call him. That's the reason addresses are very powerful and they are very dangerous to use. Okay, pointers are very powerful. If you give address of a variable to anyone, anyone can access that variable, whoever is having that address. Okay, and that's the reason they are very dangerous to use. And that's the reason you can see all the modern programming languages like JavaScript, Java, Python, any one of them doesn't support pointers. No one of them, no one supports the pointer. Okay, the reason is they are very unsafe, they are very dangerous. Okay. So as I give you an example, if you get a mobile number of Vin Diesel, then obviously hundreds and billions of people will start calling him, and obviously that will be a disaster for him, right? So similar to that, in programming, pointers is disaster if you don't use it wisely. Now why C++ has pointers? Okay, as modern languages like JavaScript, Python don't support pointer, why C++ support them? C++ support them because C support them. Now why C has pointers? Why C had pointers? So C had pointers because C was designed for system programming, for writing operating system, for writing system software. And in system software, we need complete control. We need control of memory, we need control of everything. And that's the reason this powerful tool was provided in C++ that is called as pointers. Okay. So as C++ was used for system programming, that's the only reason why pointers were provided in C language, and that's the only reason why pointers are also available in C++. Okay, and all the modern programming languages like Java, JavaScript, Python, these are not used for system programming. These are used for doing some building some web applications or building some server-side applications like that, and that's the reason they actually don't need a complete control of the system, and that's the reason they don't need pointers, and they want to make their language secure and more robust, and that's the reason they have taken out the support for pointers, or they haven't provided any support for the pointers. So I hope now you have got a basic idea about the pointers after watching this video. In the next video, you will get more and more clear idea about the pointers, because in the next video, we're actually going to create some pointer. We are going to see what is the syntax of creating pointer, how we can get address of a variable, how we can store it in the pointer. All these cool things we are going to discuss in the next video. So see you in the next one.